So we are not even a week removed from Canelo versus Crawford, and not even a week removed from Crawford, sorry, outclassing Canelo. And we're already getting people saying, well, Terence Crawford has to fight David Benavidez next. Let's pump the brakes. Let's slow your roll, because Crawford versus Benavidez is a fight that probably will never happen and should never happen. One, purely because of the size difference. Of course, everyone was saying that previously about Canelo versus Crawford and saying that Canelo's too big. But Canelo isn't actually that big for 168. He's not even that big for 160. If you actually look at a lot of the 160 boxers now at the top of the division, these guys are bigger than Canelo, right? Let alone being undisputed at 168 and winning a world championship at 175. Crawford is the same height as Canelo, meaning, or near enough the same height, meaning he too is also small for those weight divisions. Whereas David Benavidez isn't just a big 168er, he is a big dude in general. He's 6'3", and no doubt when he walks into that ring, he's pushing 200 pounds. He's clearing 190, he's pushing 200 pounds. And you get into that point, you're like, yeah, Crawford's really got no chance against a guy that big, that fast, can throw punches in those sorts of numbers with that sort of ferocity. That you really struggle to pick Crawford, but you shouldn't have to pick Crawford because that fight shouldn't happen, right? David Benavidez is never making 168 again. He's closer to making cruiserweight than he is 168 again, right? In my opinion. Of course, Crawford, I'm tired of counting Crawford out. I'm tired of sleeping on him. I'm tired of picking against him, because every time I do that, he not only does he win, but he makes it look easy too. He remains in total control of all these fights for the duration of it, right? And I would say quite comfortably, Crawford beats a lot of guys. I mean, he's done it. Of course, he's done it at 140, 147. But if you're doing that to Canelo and you're outschooling him, you do favour him against a lot of guys at these weight divisions. But 168, I think, for him to clean out 168, I think it'd be too much. I don't class David Benavidez as a 168 fighter anymore. And Terence Crawford is definitely not making 175. Or he could make it, but he's not going up to 175, right? In which case, yeah, that fight would never happen. To me, there's not really much to talk about. I don't know how much money it would take to get David Benavidez down to 168, because he's so big for the weight division. And it's bordering now at a point where I've seen him get so big, you just know he has to be doing unhealthy things to get to 168. This guy's so big, right? But yeah, that's boxing media for you though. You know, as soon as you come off the greatest win of your career, and you know you're coming off a marquee win of your career, you just beat another pound for pound great. They already want to chuck you in there against another beast. And the Mexican monster, you know, is not just your one of the mill boxer. He's not just your average world level boxer. He's built different, right? Undefeated, 2-weight world champion. David Benavidez is a serious operator and a serious problem for not just Crawford. Every boxer from 168 all the way up to 200 pounds, David Benavidez would give them problems, right? Be under no illusions. But yeah, I don't think that fight can ever happen, purely just due to the weight logistics. Purely because of that, if nothing else, because of that, right? But yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Sagas in the bag. I would be super curious to know what you guys think of this fight. Do you think this fight could ever get made? And if it does get made, do you think Crawford could beat Benavidez? Or do you think Benavidez is just far too big for Crawford and would just get him out of there relatively easily? But yeah, be curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag. And I'm out. Peace.